Okay, very excited to announce that this is the first video in a video series that I'm going to be releasing on my channel, which I'm calling Jack's Journey. So Jack's Journey is all about a friend of mine who I've been working with on Discord chat, who has published his very first ever book onto Amazon KDP and has made 105 sales in the first few weeks of publishing that book. 45 of them have come from advertising campaigns. He's now switched off almost all of those ads, and the next few weeks are going to be pure profit for him because he has released a seasonal book. You don't have to work out, think too hard as to what type of season that obviously is. So in today's video, as an introduction to this series, we're going to be talking about seasonal books. We're going to take a look at my new case study, which is also going to be a seasonal book, but it is going to be a little bit different to Jack's Journey because what we're going to be doing in the new case study that I'm going to be offering as part of a bonus for the Cryptogram Puzzle Generator software is that we're actually going to be riding seasonal waves, but with unproven niches, which is incredibly exciting because I've published books like this before and had great success with it, but I've never done a case study like this. And also, it's probably going to be one of the last case studies that I ever do. So we're going to take a look in this video as an introduction to Jack's Journey. We're going to take a look at the hard focus on the 4 areas of KDP that I absolutely forced him to focus on when it came to publishing his book. And then we're going to take a look at why a beginner is having more success than you. And I mean this in the nicest way possible because already people are watching this thinking this is bullshit, this is fake numbers. The stats will be revealed and you'll be able to see pretty much everything in the upcoming weeks. But this is a super important section and I want to explain why I think beginners who are just starting out are going to actually have more success when it comes to people that have been doing this for a while and failing for a while as well. So let's get straight into this video now. So let's take a look at seasonal books and how people get these completely wrong. We're also going to take a look at my new case study, my new seasonal book case study, which access to this is going to be shut off on the 4th of December at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, alongside the end of the Cryptogram Puzzle Generator launch period. So one of the reasons people get seasonal books so wrong is because they wait way too late to start working on their books. So a lot of people, they give it a month. They've been told you can start publishing books, seasonal books, a month before the actual season is at its hottest period. Then what they don't realize is that it takes time to actually have the content for that book created. It takes time to have the book released. It takes time for you to actually get a ranking, and it takes time and money for you to actually start running those advertising campaigns as well. So what happens is that people end up losing money because they're launching their books, running advertising campaigns way too close to the seasonal period. Now, in Jack's case here, what we were doing with his book was we made sure 100% that we were very ready to lose a little bit of money early on in order to get ranked. Now, after we got the book ranked, we wanted the organic sales from the seasonal push to take over completely. We want there to be enough time. We want there to be about 4 weeks at least where we are going to be relying completely on organic sales. And that's the period that Jack is at with his book, where we shut off those advertising campaigns. And we've got the ranking for the book and we're just now getting the profit from the organic sales. Okay. And also, if you are interested in following this kind of mini case study series, make sure that you do subscribe because you're going to be notified as and when those videos come out. So those are some of the reasons why people are losing money when it comes to seasonal books. But if you manage to stay ranked, and I've witnessed this myself, and this is why seasonal books can be powerful in the long term if you have enough of them, because if you do stay ranked, then you can expect to see sales each year. Now, I think maybe only 3 seasonal books. One of them I showcased on my channel, which has got completely lost. It's nowhere to be seen. It's a Christmas word search. It will never get any sales this year. There is a reason behind that. I shan't go into it because it's going to make it sound like I'm blaming people. But there's a reason for that. But the other 2, they sell like clockwork. And one of them, especially from 2019, has been selling every single Q4 because it's managed to stay ranked for that whole time. Now, it is important when it comes to making these seasonal sales every single year that we correctly select the keywords that we want to get ranked for, and then we stick around for those keywords each year. Because really, if you are someone that is doing seasonal books and you are picking the absolute most generic, broad keyword terms, the likelihood that you're going to stay ranked and stay relevant for the course of a year is going to be quite slim. So again, super important that we kind of niche down a little bit, but it's more so a case of we're actually selecting keywords in a very thoughtful way so that we can keep our books ranked for a very long time. And also, I am someone that puts a ton of emphasis on correct keyword selection because it is what is going to give you that initial visibility. Okay, and I'll give you an example. If you are in the last case study that I did, the last paid case study that I did for a kindergarten workbook, you will know, I think only maybe 2 or 3 people have actually watched these videos, but you will know that we've managed to get ranked for the search term kindergarten math workbook from just $9 of spend, and we have that initial visibility for that keyword. Okay, so it's very important that we are selecting these keywords with thought because it is very, very powerful. So as and when I release these mini case study videos, we're going to take a deeper look into all of these factors. This is just the introduction. Now, speaking of case studies, of course, I have my own seasonal case study that I'm going to be releasing in much more detail in the next 2 to 3 weeks, which is going to be the Cryptogram case study. Now, this is going to be one of the last that I do for quite some time. And what we're going to be doing in this one, which makes it so different, is not only are we going to be riding seasonal waves, but we're also going to try introducing a new concept of publishing in unproven niches to some extent. Okay, so cryptogram niches, they're completely proven, but within inside of that, what we're going to be doing is looking at unproven sub niches. Okay, so actually the way that I just described that was a bit of a waffle job, but what this is all about is about positioning your book for visibility. And this is something that I've seen people doing in my Facebook group so wrong. They are targeting keywords so badly, and then they're wondering why they're not getting visibility to their books. Okay, so this is going to be a case of offering the customer something that they want but aren't necessarily searching for. Okay, so the search terms that you use are incredibly important for getting that initial visibility, and then from there, once you have an unproven concept, you can then test to see if the customer actually wants that, which is incredibly powerful when it comes to creating unique selling points that people haven't actually seen on Amazon before, which has pretty much unlimited potential, especially when it comes to seasonal books, which I'm going to be showcasing in this case study in its entirety. So like I say, this is going to be one of the last chances to pick up a case study from me for quite some time. It's going to be one of the last that I do for a while. The access to this is going to be shut off at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on the 4th of December, which is when the launch period of the Cryptogram Puzzle Generator software finishes as well. So this is the software here that we're going to be using to create the case study book around. I do have a review for this if you want to go and check it out. Pretty good software, pretty good niche, but the case study is obviously going to be offered alongside anyone that purchases any paid version of this through me. Go to the link in description if you want to buy it before the access ends. Go to the other links if you want to watch the full review. But let's carry on with the video now. Okay, so with Jack's journey, we had a hard focus on 4 areas of KDP. Now, this is going to be mind-blowingly simple, and this is something I think so many people get completely wrong and just neglect completely. So those areas are going to be riding seasonal waves or going into proven buyer traffic niche. Okay, so for the case study that I'm doing, we're going to be kind of riding a seasonal wave, but with Jack's one, it's kind of a case of riding the seasonal wave and they're being proven buyer traffic. Okay, so the next area is the book cover. With Jack's journey, we focused heavily on the book cover that we were creating. Now I'm going to give you an example of the book cover process that I work with now. And we did the exact same thing. Sorry, I did the exact same thing with Jack here. So he came back to me. He had a designer come back to me with a book cover, a version of the book cover. In fact, let me go over to Canva and just show you. So I'll use my last case study, the kindergarten workbook, as an example. Now, this is not the cover that I went with. Like, if you're in the case study for this, you'll know that I didn't use this because it's pretty shit. But what happens, and what I was doing with Jack, is that he came back to me in this same scenario where someone had produced a book cover for him, and he said, this is what I'm going to work with, this is what I'm going to upload. And I said, no, do not upload that. It will cost you. You will not make sales with that book cover. So what we were doing, what I was doing with him, I was saying, look, make sure that, since he was doing a coloring book, I said to him, make sure that your designer can send you the coloring book image, but without any text on top of it. Because what he sent back to me was, and I'll give you another example in a second from one of my coloring books, but what he sent back to me just didn't work in terms of what works on Amazon. And like I say, we will go over this in more detail in the case studies as we go forward into next year. But what I said to him is, like, give us the image and we'll work on it together in Canva by placing the text ourselves until it pops out on screen and looks good on an Amazon listing. So this is the process that I go through. As you can see here, we don't stop until we have the book cover that we want. The emphasis that I put on book covers is absolutely insane. You know that if you've watched any of my case studies, I work very hard on the book covers because they are so important. And that's what I was communicating with him. I was saying, dude, you have to make your book cover look better than that because it is sucking right now. And we changed it, we changed the font, we changed the drop shadow. We changed everything until we had it the way that we wanted it. It wasn't perfect, but we were running out of time. But it did the job, and obviously it started making some sales in a very competitive niche. Okay, so that's the second most important factor is the book cover. That's what we put a ton of emphasis on. So what we're going to be looking at when I release the videos next year for some of the more specifics in Jack's journey is that when it comes to coloring books in particular, there is a certain way that is going to massively increase your biggest return on your investment is getting your pages digitally colored. We're going to go into this in much more detail later on in those case studies. But for coloring books in particular, like his, we took an interior page and we found someone to do like a digital coloring of that interior page until it looks beautiful. So this is an example of a case study that I'm still working on, which is a coloring book case study that I've taken from my main brand, where we had the image from the interior. We sent that to a designer. They've digitally colored it in, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Obviously, this is nowhere near finished yet. We're doing all the text placement with this still, but that's what I was doing with him as well. And that's the emphasis. That's the point I'm making here. The emphasis we put on book covers should be very, very high, okay? So one of the next big focus areas was on advertising. Now, this is something people go wild over, and we simplified this like crazy. Now, when it came to advertising, we went with automatic campaigns. Now, I'm going to explain in the next section why we did that and why it's so powerful, but it's only powerful in certain situations if you do things correctly. Now, a lot of people have messaged me saying, "Oh, you don't get low cost per click. You're lying." Like all these things, I've heard it all before, and the reason for that is because this has to work together with everything to get lowish cost per clicks with your advertising campaigns, to actually be able to reduce your advertising campaigns and make ads work for you in an effective manner. It has to start from day one, which is everything from your title and your subtitle and your back end keywords. Like, this has to all work together. So if you're someone that has already created a book and then you start running ads and you're getting like 90 cent or $2 cost per click, it doesn't work like that. It all has to work together, and of course we will explain that further on. And of course, with advertising as well, we were looking at reducing the cost per click over time. I might have some stats to show you in this video. We started off, I think it was at 75 cent, which is just a default bid, and then we started reducing that cost per click until the point where I think he's got it down to maybe 24 cent on the US marketplace. Again, if you are setting your book up correctly from day one, you can do this, not day 60 or day 2000. Like, it all has to work together. We're reducing the cost per click, and now we're getting to the point where since we're going to expect the Christmas seasonal sales to take over quite massively here, we're pretty much turning. I've not communicated with him for a couple of days, but I think possibly he has turned off all those campaigns and now just riding those organic sales. Okay, so the fourth area was obviously launching. I put a lot of emphasis on launching the book. Again, it all works together with your book cover, your advertising, your keywords, your proven buyer traffic, etc., etc. So we put a ton of emphasis onto that launch period as well. So here's the thing, like I know some people are watching this and they're probably going to be a little bit, why is a beginner having more success than me? So I've been thinking about this for a while and it kind of makes sense. And yes, he has had my help. Like Jack's journey has been assisted by me only in Discord chat, like text chat. So a lot of it has been his own work, but he's been given the framework to work with, and I've just confirmed a few things with him here and there, right? So the main reason here that I think a lot of people who aren't having success, who've been doing KDP for a while, the reason why Jack is having success early on is because his mind has not been overwhelmed with tons of bullshit information. Like his mind is a clean slate when it comes to publishing. He has no clue about keyword software. He has no clue about YouTube channels. He has no clue about all sorts of whatever, all the shit that you see on YouTube. Like he has no clue about this. And it's so refreshing and easy to work with someone that doesn't have these like preconceived ideas of what they need to be doing based off of crazy information that has no substance behind it. So when we were working together, we worked with proven concepts. And unfortunately, proven concepts are very boring for a lot of people, but they are what work. So, like I say, we focused on what was working, what I have proven many times with my own books to be working, and none of the fancy shit that we see, none of the eyewash software, nothing like that. We just worked with what has been absolutely 100% proven. So we're coming toward the end of the video, but just a couple more important things here. So the launch period for the Cryptogram Puzzle Generator app is finishing at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on the 4th of December. If you want to get my seasonal case study bonus, you have to pick up a paid version of the software through me. The link is in the description. I'm only going to be offering it during that launch period with the software. And also the prices of the software go back up after that point as per usual. And like I say, this will probably be one of the last case studies that I do because I'm working on quite a few at the moment. So one other thing as well, and it's got me thinking, and if I just come over to Canva quickly. So actually, yes, in yesterday's review video of the the Cryptogram Puzzle Generator software, I had some screenshots of my chats with Jack, and this was more so just to prove or to show that this is legit and that we were working together on Discord, and it was only Discord chat, and he was communicating with me the things that he was worried about, and we had a lot of text chat, and I was scrolling back through and I realized there are tons of beginner questions in here that I wish people were asking me that people do not ask me. So what I think I'm going to do as part of the Jack's Journey case study is to have a Jack's Concerns video section where we're going to be taking like all of his questions that I think people should be asking that people don't ask. We're going to make videos out of those questions, and it's going to touch upon points that maybe I've missed when it comes to creating videos around, so that we can actually help beginners start making sales and getting the visibility on Amazon. So again, if you think all of this is a good idea and you want to see this case study, the mini case study, then make sure that you leave a comment expressing your interest. Make sure that you subscribe, use the notification bell and all those things. This is real information, real beginner results, completely transparent here. Now, obviously with this case study, we're not going to show his book. Like, it's not fair for me to do that. He did say that it was okay for me to do, but I've told him like that that's not, we shouldn't do that. We definitely shouldn't do that for his main publishing pen name that he's going to be working with. But if you want a case study sooner, you want my own case study that goes into much more detail, that does show off my exact book, my exact processes, which is created into a video course in the next 2 to 3 weeks, then you can pick up the Cryptogram Puzzle Generator software through me and get that case study as and when it is released. So I'm also going to be doing updates for his sales in my Facebook group. If you've not joined my Facebook group, I'm more active in that where I've ever been before, where I'm giving away tips all the time, pretty much every like once a week. I tend to write quite a long post and give away some tips. So join the Facebook group, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'll see you in probably a Jack's Journey video quite soon. Again, if you're interested, make sure you subscribe. That's it. Goodbye.